everybody, Christopher T. Magician here. The T stands for taco. We finally did it. This is video number 25. 25 days, 25 videos. Every single video is a video featuring a Christmas idea for your Christmas shows, and we finally made it to video 25. It feels like we've been doing this for a million years, but I gotta tell you, I'm sure as it's the same for a lot of you, this is a busy time of year, and there have definitely been some busy days running around doing shows where I did not want to make one of these videos, and that's why I want to personally thank everybody out there in Let's Taco About It land who posted, something nice or commented, gave suggestions or ideas, or even just hit like or love or any of those buttons, or any of those buttons. Because that's what kind of kept me going through all this. And along the way, even though yes, I'm coming up with these ideas, this kind of forced my creativity, and I came up with a lot of new ideas that I was sort of forced to, because I said I was going to do this. And maybe that's a lesson right there, is force yourself to be creative, and you don't have a choice, you're just going to do it. Along the way, on the past 25 days, I came up with an idea. And I saved it for the very end because I, guarantee this is going to be in my show, my Christmas show for next year. Two, I think, did I say A? Okay, B, this is one of my favorite things I think I've ever come up with. C, I think I could sell this probably for a lot of, maybe I will someday sell this as a product. I don't know, but it's actually really easy to make. So, I'm going to give a little demonstration. I'm going to show you what it is. I just love this. I really do. But here's the thing about decorating for Christmas. I think everybody will agree, the hardest thing about decorating for Christmas is getting that star on top of the tree, because it's all the way up there. That's high up. But ever since I became a magician, I figured out how to do it by magic. I'm going to give you a demonstration. Of course, we need somebody to help, so we get somebody up. In other words, what we're going to do is a card trick. Yeah, basically it's just a card trick, but we're going to use this card trick to demonstrate how I can get the star way up on top of the tree. Now, of course, our other cards are different. You're going to pick a card. Here's how you're going to do it. You're going to tell me when to stop. Wherever you say stop, that will be your card. Okay, go ahead. I'm going to flip through. You say stop. Beep, right there. Perfect. Take your card. And there you go. Now you can see that is, there's nothing on the back to let me know what card it is, okay? So there's no way I can know that that's the Four of Hearts based on that I looked at it. No, it's okay if I see it, because this card, the Four of Hearts, is going to represent the star on the top of our tree. In fact, that's why I brought a marker. Since it's a magic show, guess what kind of marker? No, not a Sharpie. Okay, yes, it's a Sharpie, but no, it's a magic show, so it's a magic marker. God, these kids today. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this marker, and I'm going to draw a little star. Whoa. I'm going to draw a star right here on. And I'm going to color in. Ta-ta. And of course, when I'm doing this, when I've actually come up with a routine, I will have something funny or interesting to do and say while I'm drawing this. But there we go. Okay, that's pretty good. Now we have a star for the top of our tree. That's going to represent the star. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these cards. Now I said I invited somebody up on stage. I'd probably actually just have somebody pick a card from the audience. Maybe, it just depends on what we end up doing with the routine. But we're going to take that card, we're going to place it into the middle of the deck. Just like that. We'll even shuffle it in, so I can't find it. Now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to place these cards all the way down into the bag, just like this. We're going to use some magic to make that card, the Four of Hearts with a star on it, it's going to float up out of the bag. It's going to float through the air, and it's going to land on top of the tree. No, not that tree. We're going to pretend we're in a stage without a tree. On the tree, we don't have a tree. Oh, that's okay. I always carry a spare with me just in case. Here we go. There it is. My spare Christmas tree. All right? I'm going to hold the tree way up here. That card's going to fly up out of the bag and land right there on the top of the tree. Remember, it was the Four of Hearts. Okay, here we go. On the count of three, it's going to fly up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go up. Didn't work. You know what we're gonna need? We're gonna need some big magic. I need everybody to help me out. When I count to 3, I need everybody to shout, "Merry Taco!" And those magic words will send the 4 of hearts, that one card, flying out of the bag, okay? Here we go. On the count of 3, that card will fly up out of the bag. When you shout "Merry Taco," here we go. 1, 2, 3, Merry Taco! Oh! 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 You shouted really loud. You made all the cards fly up out of the bag. But one card landed on top of the tree. You picked the 4 of hearts? Well, look at that. On top of the tree is the 4 of hearts, and that happens to be the star for our tree. Thank you. And that's how a magician gets the star on top of the tree. There you go. So it's a Christmas tree card sword. I am so excited about this idea. So I'm going to kind of talk you through how I made this and constructed it. But first I will tell you, of course, the first part is a force. Just force a card, any force at all. I like the fact that we're not getting the card signed. You don't have to, because I think the general public, they picked a random card. So the fact that that random card appeared, a 4 of hearts appeared, you don't have to get it signed. That's the proof, right? Now, if you want, you don't even have to draw the star, because the proof is that it's the 4 of hearts. But I think the star, which is the point of the routine, getting the star on top of the tree, that star, they went everywhere, so I can't even find it. That star is sort of like the point of the routine. You could just say that the 4 of hearts represents the star, and you don't have to draw it, but I think it adds just that extra little bit of proof to a lay audience. They would be impressed by that. If I can find it, there it is. So all you really have to do in terms of the force, so you force the card, and then you draw a star, and you just want to be able to sort of replicate it. It's a star. Come on, it's not that hard. So just sort of, and it has the time misdirection. This is in the bag, shuffled in, all that happens. You have time between the two. So they were gonna forget what this one looks like. So as long as it's generally the shape of the star, you're good. Okay. So that's the first part, just force a card. Any force you want, I'm not gonna go into that. All right, next part of it is a card fountain. You don't have to use a card fountain. You can take the cards and spring them up into the air and catch it on there. That's another thing. You could have the audience member throw them up. I don't necessarily recommend that. If you've done that and you've been successful about it, please comment, talk about how you made that happen. But generally, I think if an audience member throws the cards up, they're just gonna, they're just not gonna spring everywhere. They're just gonna kind of go up in a big clump, and it won't create the spring that hides the fact that that's appearing on top of the card. Okay, on top of the tree. Now, so, but this is a card fountain. I'm not gonna go into how it works. I mean, it's a mechanical device that shoots cards out. There are different ones available. The one thing I will show you or tell you is that this one is not a remote control version, and normally I would reach in the bag to switch it on, and it does have a timer. It's about a 7-minute timer from when I turn it on to when the cards shoot up. But I will just show you. I just have a little hole in the back of the bag. So as I say, they're going to fling up out of the bag. My hand's just going into that hole and turning it on. So that way I don't have to reach into the bag to turn it on. All right. A little extra thing. So now, how do we make the card sword Christmas tree? So this, I just think it's so fun. This is a PVC pipe. Right? When I bought it at Home Depot, I didn't buy a giant long piece. They have about 2 to 3 feet sections at Home Depot. I also happen to have already, because I use a PVC pipe all the time. I have a little PVC pipe saw. You could get one right where the PVC pipe is at your hardware store. And I just cut it down to the size I want, and we'll talk about what the size is. This down here is the size, or the side that I cut. It was all messy and gross looking, so that is why that's the end I put this cap on. Again, that's sold at the same section in the hardware section, hardware store, the same section in the hardware store as the PVC pipes, and that's just a little thing that goes on there, and that makes it look nice and neat. Now you could also paint this up. I didn't, just for this demonstration. I didn't have time, but you could paint it up or tape it up or something so it just looks I like the white part, but it has this part on the back, so but nobody will really ever see it, so it doesn't matter. Okay, as for the rest of it, these this is just felt. All right, this is green felt, red felt decorations, but I didn't get green felt and cut it out in the shape of a tree. You can, all right, if you can't find what I'm telling you about. But Dollar Tree happened to already have this whole kit pre-made. The kit meaning it had a green felt tree and it had all these cut out decorations. Pre-made. So I bought 2 of those. I would encourage you to buy 3, and here's why. So you buy this, and then you mount it. So spray glue onto the same thing I've been telling you about, either illustration board from your office supply store or magazine backer boards from your comic book store. So spray glue onto that and then put the felt on there. That makes it stiffer and stronger. Then I would also suggest you take another one of these, spray glue the other side, and put that on the other side. So you have a thick piece of felt, illustration board, or the backer board, and then another piece of felt, okay? So you have a very sturdy tree-shaped felt. And then you're going to glue all these pieces on there. They came with it. If you're gonna make this yourself without buying the kit, just cut out some little circles and ribbon shapes and glue them on there. All right, so that whole thing with hot glue, I'm showing you here, but hot glue on the opposite side is just put right down the middle, and then this PVC pipe is just glued in the middle. All right, so this PVC pipe goes along that on the inside, and it's just glued right up there. There it is on the inside, right up there to the end. All right. The reason you want, well, okay, so we'll talk about why you want to put green on the both sides. But then what you're going to do, the third piece of felt is right here. You're going to glue it on the back, and you're going to glue it along here, centered up, and then you're going to glue along the edges and just glue all around. And so basically what you have is a tree of felt surrounding your PVC pipe, sort of like a tree pocket. The back piece is just the piece of felt. The front piece is the felt illustration board or magazine backer board and a piece of felt. So that's the really sturdy side. This is just a piece of felt. You'll notice I did some extra little green pieces of felt. That was because the white from the illustration board was showing along the edges because the edges didn't quite match up. If you do the felt, the backer board, and the other piece of felt, you won't need to do this little stuff on the side because it'll be green along that edge instead of the white. That's why you want to do the extra piece. Okay. And then I just sort of decorated this up too. Nobody's ever going to see the back, but just in case I did. All right. So then right down here, glued and Gorilla taped in place. Gorilla tape is awesome. This is a bulldog clip. And then again, it's not really necessary, but I put a little felt over it just to hide it a little bit. Just in case. If somebody got a glimpse back there, you could kind of hide it. All right. So then you'll notice right here is that is a tied knot in a piece of cord elastic from the fabric store. And so that's tied in place, and then this is not glued. This is pushed on with that elastic there, so that way it wedges in place. So that is pretty secure, but it's not glued, so I can take this off and change that out. All right, so that goes from right here basically up to the edge of the PVC pipe and then way down to the bottom. While I'm mentioning the PVC pipe really fast, I said you're gonna get a PVC pipe and you're gonna cut it down to the size you want. Basically what that means is this felt that I pre-bought was this big, so I just said, okay, I wanted to start there. The pipe went down to like here, and so I was like, I don't want it to go that long, so I cut it there because that looks like about the size of a trunk. So you just take whatever piece of felt tree you're gonna look at, and then that helps you define how long your pipe is gonna be. Okay, so you got the elastic going from this side. It goes up into the, up through the pipe, and then out the top, all right? And then how long does the piece of elastic, how long does it need to be? It's the exact same method that I used for showing you how to build a silver scepter or to repair a silver scepter, which is you want to stretch that cord. So imagine the cord's really long. You want to stretch it as far as it'll go and then stretch it up. And you want it to go right about to where that clip is. So there's the clip. So if you stretch it all the way out and bend it over, it goes to about that clip. That's pretty much how long you need that cord to be. finally, we're gonna force the Four of Hearts. There's the Four of Hearts, but this is not just the Four of Hearts. This is, I think 3, but it might be 4. No, I think I did 4. But it's a few playing cards spray glued together, and you just let that set, let it get, but it gets really stiff, and it's a big block of cards. That way, I cut a hole right there in the very corner. I did it there first. I didn't like it as much. I did it right in that very corner. But because there are so many layers of cards, it's not gonna break free. Also, I put some glue on it once I tied the elastic just to kind of reinforce it. But that's it. So that elastic is, again, tied. When you stretch it completely out, it's tied so it goes pretty much to that clip. All right, so there you go. You're done. All you do, you pull this out. Pull it. Now, I like to pull it around that little tree part, and then it just gets clipped right there. And then look how good this looks. Watch this. I'm just gonna push the clip, and that's gonna send that up. Boom! And it just plops right into place. Isn't that cool? You can also, if you want, bend it this way down. So bend it this way, but I personally like around like this. I don't know why, it doesn't matter, but just bend it down there. Okay, so there it is. It goes up to the back. And then it's just a matter, all the cards fly in the air, and that gives all the destruction in the world to poop. That appears, and it just looks like it popped right out of the bag onto the tree. And then, very important, don't go like this. Look at that, it's the, you don't wanna do that. When I turn it around, you just sort of keep it in place and turn it around. If you want, depending on how clean you make all this, you can then say, look at that, and just cover this with your hand. Look at that. It's the star on top of the tree. It's the Four of Hearts. Thank you. So you can do that. And that is it. That is our final video, and I think it's a really cool one. This is definitely going to be in my show next Christmas, and that is the Christmas tree card sword. Guys, it is now Christmas Eve if you're watching this on the day that I'm putting it out there. But I just want to tell everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to those of maybe next year I'll have some Hanukkah ideas. I just didn't, I don't know much about Hanukkah, and I didn't have any ideas pre-planned for that. But Happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating right now, I hope you're having a wonderful time. And I want to thank you all for joining me for all these videos and kind of making this a little family, a little taco family. Thank you guys so much, and I will be talking to you in the new year. Bye, everybody.